Okay, we're back, I guess. Yeah, I'm just gonna connect another battery. Should be good. Okay, I'm just adding another battery so that the power is enough. Let me just add this battery to it. Okay, yeah, it's not bad. Okay, you guys can see me. While I can get you the camera, show you where the why am I teaching you different motors and motor drivers. Okay. So, does you know why it's used for and where it's used for? to explain why motor drivers. Yeah, so basically we use motor drivers to give it more current and power, since you know Arduino only gives you 5 volts, and these motors require more current. So yeah, so that is one case. That's one use of it, and then also to control the motors, to change the speed and direction of the motors. So can you guys tell me where in the different types of motors, right? N20, Johnson, and then a BO. We saw the working of BO motor and the motor driver. Kilometer works. Yeah, we'll do that. Kilometer is basically it'll give you your hear me screaming on my voice, but yeah, I'm you're able to hear me now. So let me show you a quick picture. See my screen now. So if you can zoom into the picture, yeah, you can see there's an Arduino Nano type of motor driver, and there are two motors connected to it. There's these are small gears. Robot here, a line follower robot. And when it comes to a line follower, speed is the most important thing, and weight should be as less as possible. That's why we're not using a full-sized Arduino Uno or a full-size motor driver L298. So these are small components made for the specific use. We keep the weight down, and even the motors, we keep the weight down. And the wheels are so even the weight is reduced, the power is too high, and the speed is too high. Custom board made for it. The pins under will have a, will have a custom PCB. You can build as well. It's not an issue. Show you another robot which uses Johnson motors. So can you see my screen now? And read your comments. I'll come back to your comments. So yeah, so this is a Johnson motor which is here with me. So yeah, this motor is quite heavy and it has high torque, right? So you can see the bot is built in a with very big wheels, four Johnson motors, and that's heavy. And there is a full size Arduino Uno motor driver and all the big power. What is that? Battery. So this is giving you more torque, more weight, more sturdy. So Johnson motors can be used in many different ways. It has to be more sturdy, means more grounded. Um, let's say you're doing an obstacle course. So when you're obstacle course, you're doing an obstacle course, your car or your robot tends to go up and down something. It has to push something aside, and it shouldn't be as light such that it can fall off a inclined plane or anything obstacle when it faces obstacles. Hence the bigger wheels, bigger motors, so that it's grounded. It's more heavier and it's grounded. Back to the comments. Yeah. So now we understood where the Johnson motor is. And BO motors are more of like an hobby grade motors. If you're building a small bot, smaller, it's normal weight, yes, you can use BO motors. Not that expensive also. But BO motors, I mean N20 and Johnson motor comes at a higher cost. So why I'm showing you all these different bots and different motors and I'm teaching you motor driver code is if like somebody said there is a competition going on Technocian, right? So they have a lot of categories which are sumo bot, which are robo race, fastest line follower, and all these things. So these require different motors and motor drivers, correct? So these are the three main motor drivers which we're using. So technically, this motor driver which I am showing you right now, this is mostly used for Johnson motors in a robo race. It has high torque, whatever, high power. So this motor driver is used, and this motor driver can only control two motors. So it has only the availability to connect two motors. So you will not need two of these to build a robot for robo race or even bigger robots using Johnson motors. Whereas your shield, right? So this can't draw high power. How much ever you try, this cannot draw high power unless you connect an external power source. Correct? Again, this motor is more like to connect this motor driver shield is more like to connect BO motors. It's more easier to do that. Compact and goes on top of the Arduino. But the disadvantage is if when you connect this, you can't connect many sensors to your Arduino. So the pins will use up the entire Arduino pins, right? Last one, this one, this is also okay to connect, but yeah, this is also more of a hobby grade where you'll connect it with BO motors. So for high current, we mostly use this. It also can be used. Yeah. So this is an L298N. This is a motor driver module. What I'm right now showing you, 98N. This is a motor driver module. This is L293D. It's a motor driver shield. So we will soon send out you how these motor drivers are connected to make a huge bigger robot. I've asked sir to send you a video on Discord. So you can see these motor drivers connected to a big robot with Johnson motors and how it's working and all this. So we are I mean I'm here to teach you these motor drivers and the motor driver shields because these are the most required components for the Technocian competition. I mean, upcoming any competition for that. It's not Technocian. Technocian is the a lot of you have participated, and I would like everybody else who in the stream to also participate because that's a very good opportunity to be there and compete with the other teams. We will. Our team will always be there. Me or anybody in the Discord will always be there to clear your doubts. If you need help with or any coding, any programming part, yes, we'll always be there. Shield which has three drivers. No, Shield has two. Basically, two of the These are the motor drivers. So these two are L298. These two pictures. So show your face on live stream. Avneet is not right here, right? But he will surely come. Okay. You have any questions for me? Yes, go ahead. That's it. Ask the question. I can show you the code again. The code is very simple. Uh, it has motor 1 and motor 2. If you're connecting both all four motors, then two more pins you'll need. So 8, 9, 10, 11 you can use also, or 1, 2, 3, 4 also is still fine, or whatever you prefer. I've just written 8, 9 there. So motor pin 1, that is in 1, input 2, input 3 and 4. So there's 4 inputs. With all the pins, whatever input for the motor driver is output for output pin from the Arduino. That's what you're saying. And in the loop, switch high and low. So when you switch high and low, the motor spins in one direction. You check it and tell me which direction it spins. It also depends on how you've connected out 1 and 2 to your motor, whether it's connected to positive or red wire or then black wire. It depends. So when you switch these cases, like when you switch between, so low and low will give you completely off, low and high will reverse the direction of whatever this motor is spinning. Whichever direction the motor is spinning, reverse the direction. So say in case you've already written the program, you've uploaded it, but your motor is spinning differently from the direction you've desired, you can always swap out the red and the black wires from the output of the motor driver. That was one way to do it. According to the program, you can just switch it however you want, and then yeah. So this will turn in the opposite direction, and high and low will, both lows will be completely stopped. Can't understand how motor driver used for the Johnson motors can handle such high currents. So basically, when you are using these motors, we will use something called as a LiPo battery. I'll show you the LiPo battery. See my screen. So these are LiPo batteries. So this is a 4-cell 14 volts LiPo battery. There are certain restrictions depending on the competition. Some competitions will allow you only 12 volts. Some will allow you up to 15 volts. Right? There's a 12-volt version which you usually get easily available. So these batteries will give you high current directly to the motor driver. Yeah, you can basically it's used for communication. Yes, you can connect two Arduinos together. It's called the master and the slave. One Arduino will be the master, and the other one will just copy what the master does or take instructions from the master. Don't need to use that right now because it's mostly done when you run out of pins to use. In that case, you can either use a bigger Arduino, which is Arduino Mega, which makes more pins available. Yes, you can do that. You can connect two or more Arduinos. Yeah, using female to female pins, you can actually extend it. Yes, certain way to do it, and there's a certain configuration of which pin goes where. So yeah, apart from these motors and motor drivers, there is one more important component for your to controlling your robots during these competitions, which is your RC controller, or it's also called as a radio controller, just like your remote control cars. So it's a controller which is actually connected to the Arduino and it's actually programmable of which button does what. Yeah. So there are two different versions of Arduino. One is this, which is most commonly used. The other one is the SMD version of it. So instead of this big chip here, you will see a small SMD in the center. So SMD is nothing but surface mounted device that we are using. Okay, Nizar has given you a challenge to use the L298D IC. Yeah, you can use L298D. So the thing is, yeah, questions. Motor driver, you use the IC. If you have the motor driver with you, L298M or D, whichever you have, the shield, you can make a. Alright, thank you guys. See you again in the next stream. Thank you, thank you.